just can't stop now. No, trying to find a way out. Hey, feels like they won't let me move, let me breathe, let me leave, just like a maze, like a maze.
Yo, PolyRob, what up?
Yo, what up, man? Welcome to the PolyRob podcast. I am your host, the Council PolyRob, and I appreciate y'all rocking with us as always. This is another episode, and I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I'll tell y'all why in a little bit. Make sure y'all subscribe and listen and subscribe on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts. Everywhere you listen to a dope podcast, please listen to me and subscribe. And keep leaving those comments, man. I love those comments. I love those texts from my personal people that I love. That's always just encouraging me to keep going. I appreciate that. I feel like everybody in this world needs some type of encouragement, whether it's a good text, a good review, a good comment, or a slap in the head. Whichever one, please keep motivating me because I'm going to try my best to keep motivating y'all. And for those people who send me those $2, $3 cash apps, y'all don't understand what that really do for me, man. I really be like buying cheeseburgers and shit off of them little $2, $3 cash apps. So keep sending them because they add up. And those 50 cents, 75 cents, I'm with that too. Whatever, I'm with it. I appreciate y'all. And we got a great show today. Today I have a guest and I'm fucking excited. Got a guest. Before we get to the guest, I do want to talk to y'all about my week. My week has been crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing a lot of TV and film instrumental music. Usually I work on records for different cues, for different shows. Last week I worked on some records for Power. I worked on some records for Insecure. Hopefully they select those records, and I think that'd be dope. I think we did some dope shit. And I realized there was one of my colleagues that called me and gave me an offer for a song, the actual instrumental to a song that we did with my guy Bad Luck. Shout out to Bad Luck. And he pretty much wanted to use the beat for the web series. And then it clicked in my brain like, shit, I don't have a folder, a Dropbox folder full of music and instrumentals to set different moods and to score for different films. I mean, I got a folder full of beats, of course, because y'all know I make 5 or 6 beats a day, but I don't have the folder categorized by mood, an action folder, a jolly, happy musical folder, a sad, emotional, empathetic folder, you know what I mean? Like a spacey, weird folder. Like I need to have those together. So the past 4 days have been me just listening to a gang of beats I done put together for the years of time and just categorizing it into the folder. And let me tell you, I'm not tooting my own horn, but some of the shit I done heard in them damn folders, I'm fucking excited about because it gives me a chance to not only know that I have that, because I do want to use some of those records for some artists as well, but it also gives me some old, new ideas. Old as in I've done it before, and then new as in now I know how to apply additional keys, additional ideas to it to be able to bring it out to life even more. So I think that that's dope. And also I want to bring y'all a podcast just about cataloging your production and your songs in general. I feel like it's needed. So that's coming soon. Jay-Z is the first hip hop billionaire. A billionaire. Damn it, I gotta step my shit up. So they announced yesterday or 2 days ago or whatnot that Jay-Z is the first hip hop billionaire. Everybody thought that it was Dre. Dre was one of the first people who actually put together a $1 billion deal that included hip hop in terms of with merchandise, which was the headphones. Jay-Z is officially the first person to actually generate or have equity in $1 billion total with his assets. So people, a lot of people were saying like, yo, Okay, he got $1 billion. Do we have $1 billion cash? No. No, he does not have $1 billion cash. When you're classified as a billionaire, it's made off of a couple of things. It's made off of the cash in hand that you have, the investments that you've put together, and all the companies that you have stake in, and that percentage of what it equals up according to how much the company is worth and how much your percentage is in the company. So for everybody who believes that he has $1 billion in cash, please do not believe that. I would like to believe that as well, but no, that's not true. But I want y'all to understand the concept of what being a billionaire consists of. So for Jay-Z, he has, let me just break it down really quick. He has $310 million assets in Armand de Champagne. He has 220 million collectively in cash, actual cash money, and investments that he invests in with businesses. Then he has a Douce Cognac, which is 100 million. He has a percentage in Douce, which equals up to 100 million on his behalf. Tidal streaming service is 100 million. Rock Nation is 75 million. His music catalog alone, which is all of the music that he actually owns and has percentage in, is 75 million. His art collection that he's purchased, that he owns, is equaled up to 70 million, and his real estate investments and shares that he has in real estate equals up to 30 million. No, sorry, 50 million. So you add all that shit up, and it's over $1 billion. So he's the first hip hop billionaire, which is the first artist to come from working as a career in hip hop and generating $1 billion from his stake in what he did in hip hop and all his other surrounding investments because he was a hip hop artist. That's phenomenal. And that's the blueprint of what, you know, people like Diddy, people like Dre, people like Nipsey, rest in peace. This is the formula and the blueprint that we should look upon to be able to expand our businesses and the things that we do. I successfully have 2 recording studios, and although I'm not nowhere near where they are, I feel confident that the investments and the things that I put towards my career and my business will be able to be acknowledged, and people can love it. People can enjoy it, and my kids can spend all types of money and shit, and they can have businesses passed on from me to them to their kids and so far and so forth. So I appreciate that. Jay-Z, keep doing your thing. You are my second favorite rapper next to Raekwon. You already know what it is, Ray. That's my guy. I mimic my style and my process off of him a lot. So I appreciate that. Now, let me take a quick sip real quick. Because y'all know I rarely have guests on this show. And it's not because I don't want guests, because I always want guests. But I'm very selective as to the guests that I like on my show, because I'm just going to be perfectly honest. There's shows who always give you, you know, the different rappers that you want to hear. There's so many shows that give you the different models and the different personalities that you always end up listening to. There's podcasts for that. All due respect, I love them because I listen to them as well. But I wanted to open up my podcast to those who are behind the scenes making things happen for major companies, independent companies, and self-made companies. I wanted to have conversations with people who are able to talk about and be able to help shape the positive narrative and culture of what is supposed to happen with us as Black people, us as human beings, and us as any other race that's trying to get it how they live. You know what I mean? That's what my podcast is about. On top of me, of course, talking shit and having a good time doing what I'm doing, I wanted to bring on some guests that's able to get it like me and get it better than me as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I listen to their podcast. I just started listening to their podcast, and they're fucking hilarious. And they're straightforward, and I think you guys would enjoy them. First and foremost, please let me welcome Martini and Brandy, Martini and Brands, to the podcast. What up, y'all?
What up?
Hi.
What up?
What's going on?
Nothing much. Excited to be in here today.
Super excited.
I like to try my best to give the best stage possible for y'all to come on. You know what I'm saying? It's equivalent to like a concert. Y'all know what it is when Beyonce come out. You know, we want that shit to be right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to do the same thing for y'all.
And you know, we got the same birthday and everything.
They
so.
You do?
Yes, September 4th, Virgo, all the way. I rep hard. But, you know, when you are born amongst greatness on the same day.
I believe in that.
You know?
I believe in that 100%.
My birthday's just on October 19th. I believe there was a war on my birthday.
Oh, my goodness.
Right?
So she's always going to bring
I'm a
you the
warrior.
drama.
War's good if you win.
If you win.
If you win.
I don't remember. I just know it was a war on my birthday.
We got to find out which war that is. We'll talk about
We'll
that.
come back to that.
Man, please tell the people who don't know your podcast and what do you ladies do individually?
I'll let Brandy take it.
Martini and Brands is the podcast. What do we do individually? I am an entrepreneur at spirit. Everything about me, I'm always moving and shaking, involved in a lot. I'm operating a company, the Mod Box subscription. You'll see that coming real soon. I've been working on a clothing line, secretly, Just Brand. We podcast because you need to. Every day, it's something to talk about, you know? And we realized we would get into these in-depth conversations that we weren't recording ourselves, and it was like messages that you knew needed to be delivered into the world, you know? So that's how we got to podcasting. It was always something, but we always had a platform of something, being moms. We're both moms. I got a bunch of kids.
Right.
By a bunch over two, to be defined, what is a bunch of kids? Over two.
Martina comes from the world of radio. I mean, she's majored in communication, so very involved in that environment and the blend. So Martini Brands is that blend between who we are. It's really mixing up a cocktail.
Right.
You always need 2 parts to a really good drink. It always starts with several parts, so you get those 2 elements.
We need that.
Yeah, right. I mean, sometimes the straight up is good, but you know, when you blend, you see how other things complement one another, and that is Martini at Brands. We're like that cocktail that complements to
the perfect cocktail.
Yeah, sometimes different visions, but even in different visions, we can sense the energy, we feel a lot of different things. So that's Martini at Brands. Vibe out with us.
Man, please, really quick, let everybody know where they can find the actual podcast, because we're gonna talk about a couple of issues, not even issues, just situations with the podcast, and I want people to be very, very thorough on where to find your podcast.
Okay, so I'll take this piece. You can find Martini at Brands. This is my Hollywood voice. But you can find Martini at Brands. We're on all the major platforms. We're on Google. We're on Apple, Spotify. Not so much SoundCloud, because you got to pay for that. So SoundCloud, I'm going to need y'all to get some like free shit going on.
Yeah, I want to know, how are you getting these $75, $2 Cash App? What is that all about?
Yeah, we need some Cash App.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you some real shit. One of my bestest friends, Head Crack from Dish Nation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's on the Tavis Smiley show.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
and whatnot.
You know,
yeah.
I like you
So that's my guy.
Dish
That's my guy. He's kind of walking me through this whole podcasting thing.
Okay.
And he always told me, he said, like, yo, when you're doing your podcast, you know, shout out your Cash App. Shout it out. As much as you shout out your social media, shout out your Cash App.
Bars.
Because people, if they hear something and it resonates with them, they have no problem with sending a couple.
They're going to be compelled. Absolutely.
It's like an ongoing GoFundMe type of thing. And he was like, just try it. And I tried it, and people would be like, check your Cash App. And they would, like, sometimes they would literally put why they sent it, like episode 23 was awesome. And it'll be the Cash App.
Hey, that's so
crazy.
powerful. You know,
It's
like
crazy.
you just said earlier, talking about Jay-Z, like you're not at that level, but we always forget about the work that those people put out. And the moment when he said that to himself on this journey, how many people you're impacting, like how powerful that is. That yo, I listened to you, and you don't know what these people were going through on that day. But to just be compelled, you know, hey, so you doing the work, my brother. You don't even have to say, like, I might not be where you are, but you are exactly where you need to be in position.
I appreciate it, but it's always like a world full of emotions. And even some episodes, like, I'll be crying. I ain't gonna lie. I cry. hey, I do it. You know what I'm saying? I am okay, fully okay with my feelings, and I'm okay with people knowing how I feel about certain things.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
saying?
Martina goes hard on me all the time because I will call her like, yo, did you just watch, what's the movie on Netflix?
How They See Us.
Oh my God. I turn it off. Second episode, I turn it off.
The second one was
I can't do it.
The second one was hard, right?
But I
always feel like I'm so in touch with everybody. When I got to Corey's story, I cried from the moment it was on to the moment victory came. And even in seeing the victory, it was like, I cried. The hardest one to do was like, hey, yo, you still telling the world you innocent? And he was like, what you mean? You know, and he tells them like, hey, you've always had hope and faith. Man. And he was a killer. Oh, look, just blew it up. Mom, I just blew it up. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. But listen, yo, I'm always emotional.
Everybody says even if you spoil it, you will never understand the emotional roller coaster you go through when you watch it. Because actually, you can look up the story and see how it really
So it's based on a true story?
Yeah. Right? Yes.
I haven't. I didn't know.
Yes.
And I made a joke to her the other day when I told her to watch it, like, yo, New York just got so many people. So when there's so many people and there's so much chaos happening, or not even we know the people who manipulate the systems and control everything, they need to find an outlet to blame somebody.
Right.
And I always say the Aborigines, the blacks, whatever you want to call it, we are always to blame.
Always.
You know, and it was like, it was one of those stories that I had already knew they were going to get convicted. Even when you had hope, like, yo, you don't have no DNA, no nothing. I said in my spirit, like, they going to put them boys in jail.
Man.
It's
just
deep.
living, by me living in Brooklyn as a young kid, I completely identify with
that story.
Because I know for a fact, like, the conviction rate is very high in New York, but the investigation process is very low.
Weak. That's
they
insane.
They don't give it. They're not trying to dig deep.
No, that's
they find the closest, most plausible idea of who might have done it, and they stick
apply
it to
it.
And then they convince everybody that it's the truth.
Right. And then you got to also take in consideration where, as that story happened in a park, but if you go to any regular park in New York, it's surrounded by a bunch of buildings and so many dip holes, so many alleyways.
So it's all kinds of shit.
Man, niggas could get lost fast. Like from somebody shooting somebody and getting away, it's a real thing. You can really get away for real.
Crazy.
It's like a concrete jungle for real.
It's real. As opposed with LA, it's like, yo, you shoot somebody, they can put the helicopters on you with the cops, and it's a very slim chance you get away. High speed chase shit. You know what I mean? But in New York, it's like, nah, nigga, you can shoot a nigga and literally run to your house building and be cool.
And we take everything for granted. Like, just knowing that you have both those sides. Like, for me, I am a true Cali girl, true Cali native, like even traveling outside of my home. I only know California. I just ran into a chick the other day who was from Chicago, hella dope. We talked about real estate and investing. She was from Chicago. And she basically was like, yo, y'all gangs out here. She was like, if Nip passed, rest in peace, and in our hood, and Nip was what he was to LA as to Chicago, she was like, it's no way in the world our gangs will be making peace. She was like, it still will be slaughtered on our grand.
It'd be war,
right?
For sure.
So when I was thinking about it, she was like, my cousin moved here, took me to South LA, and she was like, I went there and was like, this shit is like bougie hood. Shut it down, right?
So why is that? Why don't we?
I don't know, but I'm so thankful.
Are we more peaceful?
I don't know. I'm thankful.
No, I don't think that it's a more concept of peace.
Okay.
I think it's a concept of when you have the space, you actually have a chance to
survive,
sit back.
yeah.
Oh, so you can kinda
think about
duck.
it. Yeah, you get to think about it for a minute before you make the move that you make.
Got it.
You feel what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And as of course, LA had some of the worst gang activity in the world. Of course.
Yeah, in the 90s was rough.
Right, but that was at a time where the blacks weren't as spread out as they are now. So now it's like you get a chance to kind of just spread out, think about it, go to Hollywood real quick.
So
You know what I
niggas
mean?
out here, can we say nigga on your...
Man, if
Okay.
you don't
So-
talk, if
so
you
niggas-
don't talk,
So that we can spread out, whereas
Yeah.
other people are more
I
saturated.
take it that we have
in-
more resources available.
When
so
you're in Chicago, when you're
it
in
ain't
New
nothing,
York,
right?
Brooklyn is Brooklyn for real.
For real, yeah.
The next borough over is Manhattan, Queens. It's grimy shit for real.
Man.
You gotta travel some miles to get out of the poverty that you
are
so
in.
accustomed to. LA, in a sense, no disrespect, because
Yeah.
I love LA. Come through with my flip flops all day.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah, how we
literally,
turned you out.
But literally,
I know people who be like, I don't wear flip flops because just in case. Like, what?
Right. But
Okay.
literally in LA, if you wanted to get away, you can go to
You
Santa
could get
Monica
away.
and be cool.
yeah.
Just blend. Like,
Just
oh, he's
blend.
just a black hippie.
Come on, man, you can blend.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing. So man, that show is phenomenal for sure.
Yes, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And even just Brandy, I want to break this down.
Yeah, we got to.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
I'm
gonna say-
so excited
Let's break
to
this
be
down.
in the
Yeah.
building. Look, I can't get
Listen.
too loud because I heard I've been loud all my life.
do that, do
Yo,
that.
I want to scream like when I came through the door.
I want to.
Yeah.
I want to talk about just being able to come together to make this happen. Been knowing Brandy since high school, since Inglewood High.
Man.
Say the year.
Put
Some dates on it.
Right.
no.
No, we're not finna get to that.
Okay.
Just know it's all about 2001. Let's just know what it is.
Around about that
Class
time.
2001, get down. So me being a kid coming from New York, going to Crozier, then eventually going to Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? Meeting the likes of Brandy, the likes of Pizzle, the likes of so many different, dope people. I was blessed to be able to learn the LA way and the Inglewood way, because the Inglewood way and the LA way is different.
It's totally different. Totally different.
And she has had the opportunity to watch me in my early stages of growing.
Yes.
Knowing Lovey, knowing Black, and fast forward to now with Martini, knowing Black, introducing how I got a chance to be able to get them on the show through Black. Shout out to Black. And I feel like, although haven't seen you in a while, and I just seen you for the first time, I feel like this feels like a family thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It feels right. It feels good. It feels like it's supposed to happen.
To happen. I'm
Yeah, it's
always
organic.
about energy. I am big. I'm just a ball of energy. I've said before, like, in being human, I want to flow through things fluid, where you just sense the energy right away, But it just tells you, I've been thinking hard, even when we go in topic, and National Best Friends Day is coming up Saturday. I have spoke out about relationships that I have
Right.
lost and things that make up me.
Right.
And the universe is attracting me back to all those things, to the
Right.
people that are to be present in this moment, in the now, that, help build my village. So coming
Right.
through this door today, I gave Martina a side eye in the car.
I was going to say,
She
please
sets
give the
up-
backstory about
She sets
how
up
we even got
meetings.
here.
I just laughed because I got the whole script shortly before we arrived. Not even the script, just the topic.
Right.
And I looked at Martina like, yo, you didn't send me this last night just to be prepared. Like
Right,
you were
right,
just saying,
right.
you got to get all your songs and folders.
Right,
Preparation is key. But
Right.
it was supposed to happen the way it was. It was like the door opened to a spirit that I've shared energy with before.
She was like, who is this? And
Yeah.
She was on me. Brandy be on me.
You know?
I'm like, oh,
So
shit.
it's
I'm
hella
in trouble.
dope.
As soon
to
as
be
you
in
got to
the
the door,
building.
it's like, nigga, I know you.
Nigga,
Exactly. I was like,
Yeah.
hi, my name's Martina. And she like, get the fuck out the way. Nigga, I know
Okay,
you.
give me a
I'm
hug. Like,
okay.
how's life? What's up?
Which is a great thing that actually kind of segues into the topic, because it could have gone so many different ways.
Absolutely.
Could have gone so many different ways. Just think about it. Imagine if we had beef back in the day. Could have gone that way. Yeah. Imagine if me and Black wasn't somebody that was just in tune. Could have gone so many.
Could have gone another way.
Right. So, our topic for today is geared towards the identity of what Martini and Brands is about. I listen to their podcast. I'm binging actually right now.
Thank you.
And I binge it in the morning. You know why? Because I feel like in the morning between like 2 a.m. to like 6 to 7 a.m. it's just clear.
It's clear. Yes, it is.
Your brain is kind of just clear and the information can be received so well. So I felt like it was only right to address a topic that we both can kind of share. And we want to talk about being a bartender of emotions. A bartender of emotions with a Virgo. Oh.
With a Virgo. You know what? I feel like we get the hardest rap, but I'll hear. I'm always open.
Maybe, but maybe not, because you kind of deserve it. You kind of deserve it.
Really?
You kind of deserve it. A little bit, just a little bit. What sign are you?
I'm a Libra.
Libra. I don't know too much about Libras. Have the least amount of information on the horoscope.
On the horoscope, absolutely.
If you go to astrology.com, horoscope.com, they're going to give like every other horoscope is like about 17 pages. Libra,
we're hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But that's why Virgos get the hardest rap, because there's so much information.
Right.
You become like overloaded, and then you think about the Virgos, and you take shit personal. It goes into this emotional roller coaster,
I'm just going to say this. Virgos have the best backsliding game. You know what I'm saying? Like believe in something and going with something and be like, something. But bitch, I'll be tripping like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So topic is bartender of emotions. We want to talk about and we want to discuss how we can use emotions to affect our progress. We're also going to talk about knowing if the right mixture of emotions per situation can benefit you or not benefit you, almost like a bartender, like mixing drinks, you know what I'm saying? And then last, we want to talk about the breakdown of which emotions are tied to your favorite drink. If there's an emotion and you feel like it's tied to your favorite cognac or your favorite tequila, we're finna get into all of that.
I'm starting to feel this Jameson.
What we drinking right now?
We drinking on that Jameson and the medicine of the community, that ginger ale. Okay,
go ahead. We all need a sponsor, Jameson. I'm just saying.
Right. Okay, I need to know for real, because I don't believe it, but. Do ginger ale really like kill headaches?
It must, because my dude uses ginger ale for everything. Nigga got heartburn. I need a ginger ale.
It's be in the fridge. I gotta move the ginger ale out the way to get to the food.
Ginger ale is absolutely medicine in my house, but you think ginger is absolutely essential to your everyday life. Now the rail, I'm always big on this ish stuff. So the rail is like the ish. You don't really really need the rail part.
You just got to chew on a ginger root.
Yeah.
If you want to get really to the real medicinal properties of ginger, just pure ginger. Just
but we got cocktails in our cup.
I feel like ginger ale is like the new Vicks. You know when Vicks just cured everything?
Man.
It did.
Vicks cured a heartbreak. It cured everything. It's crazy.
That's funny. Now, I never used it for a heartbreak, but I might try in the future. You feeling something.
Your mom be like, man, put some Vicks on it. Put some Vicks on it. So the first thing I wanted to definitely discuss is, one of my best colleagues had this theory, and he always explained it to me when it got to a point where somebody in business or collectively in business, we were trying to figure out what's the best way to approach either our employees or colleagues and stuff like that. And he would always say, like, okay, let's take for instance Puff Daddy, right? Puff Daddy is a very outspoken, very fun type of person on the outside, but we all know the stories of business. Of him being very hard ass, very to the point, very sometimes in a sense disrespectful.
Disrespectful, no, but
right.
Yeah.
But to a degree, when you think about it, his disrespect and his boldness and his force actually generates dollars. Because if you actually look at all of the people who've been surrounding him, whether it was a director, a producer, someone who's facilitated his administrative services, they all go on to get bigger jobs, bigger positions, and position themselves to do great things. So he was pretty much saying, like, how much is your emotions worth? What is the value of you feeling like how you feel at this moment? You know
Priceless.
My motto is fuck your feelings though.
Yeah.
I learned that in middle school through my through close company when I was like in 8th grade, like, yo, fuck the feelings, like all day long. So since 8th grade, I've been like, oh, okay, I get it. Fuck your feelings.
Yeah. But I always tell you that's easier said than done. We can so freely throw out fuck your feelings and you will still get fired from your job and won't go celebrate. Like, don't worry about these bills. Don't be stressed for what's coming next. Just be humble and accept it. We don't. You know, so even in fuck your feelings, you still get caught up in the moment. But it's knowing that it's priceless. I always say, like, when we think there's ugly, there genuinely is no ugly because there's even beauty in the things that are unknown, that are weird, that are strange to you, that are uniquely different and you're attracted to it. So it's like in ugly, in disappointment, the greatest comes. You know, you think about the lotus flower. It grows out of a swamp. Murky, muddy, never clear, never pure as you would think to go scoop up a cup and drink it. And the lotus flower still blooms around all of that chaos no matter what. Sometimes in being transparently clear, it may hurt, but being humble enough to listen to whatever was delivered to you or how it was given to you. Emotions is everything. Like, that's balancing the chakra. Being able to balance your emotions is being able to win in life. There never is a loss. Like, so many quotes, I can't even quote it for sure, but it's like in every wrong, you know, when you do something wrong, you'll find 10,000 ways not to do it that way.
Exactly.
But it does not mean that it was like, oh, it's the end of the world. It just is the beauty in knowing, don't go at it this way.
And you gotta be open to be able to see what's in that ugly and what you gotta learn from it. Because a lot of people will be like, well, fuck that bitch because she ain't shit and da-da-da-da. Like in my own personal life, I've gone through so many things where I'm like, yo, this shit is ugly. I'm going through ugly shit now. And it's like, I gotta see the beauty in it because it's so much bigger than this one little ugly piece that I'm going through. It's so much bigger than that.
Yeah, like even for me, you know, like I've found, like recently within the past, I would say the past 10 years, I found that really submitting to my emotions and my feelings helps me become stronger.
Grow. Absolutely.
Helps me be a lot stronger. Like, I can remember a time, and I'm not gonna lie, I can remember a time where everything was about not being embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? It was about not being embarrassed, not being the one that was the odd man out, not being the person who is just taking the back seat from everything that's going on. But I realized that by me expressing more of what was going on, I was actually helping myself get to the next step that I needed to, especially when you're dealing in music, man. There's as much emotion as we put in the music, we don't put enough emotion into our daily lives. Like, everything is about trying to show somebody something. You know what I'm saying? And it gets to a point where it's like, you know, I wanted to be able to bring out a lot more feeling for myself to help me on the quest of just doing great shit.
But I feel like people get condemned for having too many emotions. Like,
You're right.
I gripe on Brandy all the time. Like, bitch, you got too many damn feelings. Like, control your emotions, because we have gone through we're going through a process where we're more consciously aware and we need to think more logically. So it's like, I think for me in my journey, I'm learning to accept people exactly for who they are. So if you're an emotional hot ass mess, fuck it, I'm rocking with you. You're an emotional hot ass wreck, and I love you regardless. That's what unconditional love is.
Now, how difficult is that for you?
It's very difficult because it requires you to fuck your own feelings. It requires you to be like, yo, I gotta be something bigger for somebody else.
Right.
And we are selfish by nature.
Right.
Like, I don't like when people be like, oh, I ain't selfish. Da-da-da-da. I'm a big Friends fan, and I don't know if anybody else watches Friends, but did you watch Friends?
Come on, what you mean?
Okay, so do you remember the
Killer.
episode of Phoebe when she got bit by a stung because
she got.
I'm sorry, I had a little bit too
when
many.
She got bit by
a bee.
bee.
She
Yeah,
got
the
stung
bee.
by
Yeah.
a bee. She's like, this is my selfless act. And he was like, well, the bee stung you. Joey said something and she still felt like shit in the end.
Right.
And from that, I learned that, we're selfish creatures by nature. Instead of trying to fight the fact that we are selfish creatures, let's just accept it.
Right.
Acceptance is the biggest step
Yeah.
in everything. Accept our ugly. Accept that people don't always like our ugly. And just learn from it and be better.
That's a very great point, because we're always selfish to our benefit, but how about being selfish to someone else's benefit? Like literally letting somebody no, we already know that you. First off, we know that you're full of whatever you in. I'm gonna let you do that.
Have your moment.
I'm gonna let you have your moment because, and I know even for personal experience, some people letting me have my moment helps me come out and be like, you know what? Okay, so how I'm gonna get this right for real? Because a lot of the times when we block ourselves, it's not letting ourselves go. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's like, man, I get what you're saying, and I'm just thinking about it from another perspective. Like, nah, like you said with Brandy, sometimes being an emotional wreck, nah, just let her go.
Let it go.
Maybe her letting go is her dragon. Maybe that's her way of nah, I'm being able to put strength back in myself.
Back into myself. But I tell you that all the time. I'll hibernate like a bear or whatever to every animal that hibernates, and not just because you need to eat and survive in this season. I go in I cry all the time. I feel certain things. I embody other people's energy and take it on, and we'll go in a slumber in deep thought. So it's very few people that I vent to or that I release. I will cry on a movie or anything in front of you, but it's not like I'm going that deep with everybody. So Martina sees a lot.
Shout out to Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, yeah,
I lose my shit
on Pursuit of Happiness. Absolutely.
I'm like, the movie was good.
It was good.
I watched that. You gotta realize I'm a 2-son parent. Listen, I'm a daddy for real. Every year on my birthday, January 9th, y'all don't forget it.
And what sign
you
is
are
that?
a Capricorn. You guys are so powerful. And that's crazy. I'll come back to this. Tell me what you was gonna say.
Every year on my birthday, I don't see nobody. I just sit back and I watch Pursuit of Happiness and I lose my shit.
You lose your mind.
And it helps me become no, I gotta make sure I stay on point with everything.
You balance that year.
Man, when he was like, when he told his son, when he was like, you probably never become a basketball player. Yeah. I wasn't. And the son threw the ball and he looked at him, he was like, don't never let nobody tell you you can't do it. I lost my shit every time.
Every time. How many years have you been watching it?
What? For damn near since it came out. Every year.
Yo, I've gotten so many lessons in life, movies.
I got a lesson from that movie, Smallfoot.
Oh yeah, I always say
Smallfoot hit a bar and was like,
cartoon
okay, so
animation.
Can I just quickly tell you about?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Smallfoot was a movie that came out a few years ago, kids movie, because kids movies give you the most bars. Okay,
Martina's a message stealer. Please note that came from me. I'm the one who put her on game about
I don't remember
animation.
Shit, so I ain't gonna throw shade.
Okay,
she's probably right. She's probably right. Like, I got the shittiest memory ever. But Smallfoot. So there was, so it was about Yetis, and each Yeti had a job, and they had to do their job. And so the main characters was to wake up the town every morning, and then so the dad was like, so everything was coming to the light, all the bullshit that the Stone Master had. They're like, yo, that's bullshit. I'm calling your bluff. So the dad of the Yeti, he like didn't do his normal routine because his helmet broke or whatever. And he was like, in the nutshell, he was like, make sure the people stay woke. I said, oh shit, this nigga dropping bars.
She's silly.
Make sure the people, verbatim, make sure the people stay awake.
Stay awake,
Right.
yeah.
Stay
Right,
awake.
right.
I said, oh shit, small foot nigga dropping
But
bars.
then how do the people stay awake? And that's the thing that they keep from you is key. They make you're created to think, get angry about
Right,
everything.
right.
You know, I was just telling Martina, it's a lot of things I don't follow. And I didn't follow what was going on in the news with YG.
Right.
And I saw the late Breakfast Club showing with him and Charlemagne. And a lot of people went hard at the fact the brother was like, yo, I just figured out what mental awareness, mental health was. And people went so hard like, nigga, you got a platform. How you not gonna know what mental health is? And I'm just like, yo, do you really know the streets? Do you really know a black home and struggling? You are taught to hide your emotions.
Right.
You are taught don't cry in front of everybody.
And it might
Right.
be normal. Like, they might not see it as, oh, he has a mental health issue.
Yeah.
It might be like, oh, that's my crazy uncle.
Or always thinking
that's
that
what it
mental
is.
health is a bad
It's
thing.
negative.
Right,
It is not
right.
negative. It is really the balance of your emotions. I believe we talked about this earlier on in the podcast where we talked about mental health because a lot of people are bipolar.
Right.
And I was like, yo, all bipolar is a person not being able to deal with their emotions. There
Right.
are people that are extremes past the spectrum, but only because they have suppressed so much.
Right.
You know, they're not screaming out. They ain't crying.
And then just to go off of what you're saying, like, you know, any emotion, any action, anything you bottle inside is equivalent to, you know, to a glass, to a drink.
To a drink, yeah.
Man, when a bartender pours you a fucking drink the shit.
Drink it.
If you got free drinks, like emotions is equivalent to fucking free drinks at the bar.
Free drinks at the
It's
bar.
free drinks at the bar.
Yeah.
Damn right.
So as soon as you know what it is, free drinks at the bar. As soon as your shit done, they gonna fill you up again.
Fill you up again.
So what's gonna happen if they continuously fill you up and you're
And then
not
hit you
drinking?
with that
Not
bill,
drinking
which is
it.
your reality. Like,
Ah.
you owe this much.
Exactly. But and it's like, man, you have to let go. You got to release. And I
You
think
do.
that's, you know, in a bar, it's like drinking, you know, your drink is releasing, is getting everything out, is letting everything go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of the people where it's like, I've never been afraid to cry.
I haven't either, but
Never
I will
been.
Well, that's
ask
good
you.
because for men,
Yeah,
Never.
definitely. It's beautiful. But I will ask you, do you think you said your oldest is 10?
It's 10, yeah.
Do you feel like you had better control over your emotions when you became a parent because you saw life differently, or would you say you've always been able to control your emotions?
I realized that the value of letting out your emotions happened when I had my kids.
Yep.
I definitely, when I had my kids, it was more like, no, I'm finna let this
I'm about
go.
to let this shit go.
I remember quick story. Sorry about these stories.
No,
No,
it's
it's
good.
okay.
You know, I
Story
love a
time.
story.
I remember one time, you know, my oldest was getting caught doing what he wasn't supposed to do. I already
Okay.
know what that is.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm scared.
His mom is pissed. She pissed. She ready to go off. She ready to whip his ass. She ready to do whatever. I'm like, no, let me get him. But when I tell her aggressive. Let me get him. I got him. Don't trip. So I'm already mad. I'm thinking about what I'm thinking about. So when when I get him, take him home, and I'm like, sit down, grab a belt. He already know what's coming.
Yeah.
He know
Time's
what's
up.
coming. This is the common idea. I gotta get this done. Then when he grabbed the belt, I put it on your lap. Put it on his lap, and I sit down and I talk to him. And in the midst of me talking to him, because I want to explain to him why he's going to get this whooping. And in the midst of me explaining to him, I just start crying because I'm like,
You got the lesson, huh?
man, I'm like, I'm telling them I'm more hurt than anything.
Than anything.
Like, I want to whoop you to stop you from doing it. And that's what I told him. I said, I want to whoop you to stop you from doing it, but I just want you to stop. I just want you to stop.
Kids teach us so much.
And I told him, I said, if you can find it in your heart to understand what I'm on and just stop, let's move to something better. I don't want to whip you. I got whooping my whole life.
My whole life.
I say that about repeating myself. I don't want to repeat
I
myself.
don't want to repeat, which is a big thing for me. So,
however,
if I say it one time, that's it.
That's it. You think it is, though, because then you have to self-reflect. And if we're talking about emotions, you have to repeat things for your own personal self.
We do.
And the thought of us thinking all the time,
right.
and the thought of us thinking, I don't want to repeat myself. I've said this to my kids, and I always laugh because I'm like, if life gives me the most bars, it's in being a parent. Emotions.
Right.
You said earlier that your second is emotionally connected. We related on it because I'm like, I've always been like this my whole life, you know? My middle is emotional. He's a Capricorn. And I have to tell him, Cap game. You know, Capricorns are most compatible with Virgos. Capricorns and Taurus.
Can you say it one more motherfucking time?
Capricorns and Tauruses are the most...
Right, guys. There it goes.
Are the most...
You good
are
across
the
the board,
most compatible. But my middle son, Capricorn, extremely emotions. I even have to tell him, this is my thing with him. You have to pick a certain emotion to use today. Yes. You cannot use them all in one day. Right. You know, I even let unorthodox me the other day, he had a moment and I said, just say fuck it. He's 6 and he looked at me with the biggest eyes like, what? And I was like, just say fuck it.
Right.
And he whispered it like, you know, because he already knew like, oh, it's a bad word. He was like, fuck it. And I went, no, just say fuck it. And he said it loud. And after he said it, he got over the shit. It was over immediately.
It was over.
But I learned through my kids, like, yo, let your emotions out. Yeah. Kids act a damn fool. My kids will have a complete meltdown in the store, and it takes a minute for me to recover. Like, does it make sense?
Right.
So doing all that, did it make you feel better? Did you get what you wanted?
That's the part right there. Because emotions it should be, I'm not going to say it is, it should be geared towards the healing factor for you to be able to get over your shit. And just like what you said, Martini, of being selfish. If selfish works for you and the community surrounding you, by all, do it.
Do it.
Because I know certain people like my business partner, Badru. He's so much of an very bold, and some people would call him asshole.
That's me.
Right. But when I tell you it's for the benefit of not only himself, but the entire company and community around him. Like the things that he say is so dead on. It's like, nah, I'm not saying this just because I want to. I'm saying it because once you figure out what I'm telling you, it's nothing but bars and you finna get something from it.
Like I'm teaching you.
You know what? And that's dope that you said that because that's me. And even at times I have to tell Martina, you know, because I always identify everybody as their own individual. And when you want to meet people, exactly where they are. Me and Martina on a playing field play 2 totally different positions, right? And sometimes you may not even need to meet all the time. But when we do, I have to tell her, like, I am being an ass today. I'm deep in thought. You know, I might be coming off a little hard, but I need you to. You'll feel why eventually. Hey, my whole life from people who didn't want to take the time to know me would always be like, "You're a bitch," and it used to affect me so much because I'm like,
I mean, be real. It bothers you still. It's something we battle with.
That I battle with currently. I'm always like, yo, my heart is filled with so much love. Like if people who really knew me or were a part of my tribe knows, like, yo, not Brandy. Like,
I mean, he felt your energy and you haven't reconnected till right now. So that just lets you know. Like,
but it's like it was me balancing my emotions to the point where sometimes maybe I did let off direct bitch because I foresaw what the end result was going to be. And I try to say, we can make a joke, go back to Virgo shit. You know, I think that's why Virgos get a bad rap because I truly feel like we are life secret holders. We know a lot about this game of life as being the virgin to birth many things. You can't have life if you don't have a cycle that births something. The Virgo is that. I'm not gonna go too far off left field.
Listen, I kind of feel like you bigging yourself up a little bit too much. We're gonna let you do your thing.
She loves
the
Virgos.
Capricorn and the Libra gonna let you do your thing.
Let it.
Yeah, we'll let
However, balancing those emotions to where I channel how I let off things and how I processed and came back to the thought table of things and then released it back into, the world makes a difference. Right. Absolutely. My children learning teaches me, let that shit out. Mm-hmm. Think about it.
Right.
Rationalize, break it down. Come at different angles. Think about, how you're putting, even in the workplace. Martina just said she was going through things, and a lot of it's been with work and higher ups, the politics and business and working for somebody else. Really trying to open her mind to be like, yo, it may sound bad, but it ain't bad.
Right.
What did you learn? Yeah. What are you carrying away from this?
And you know what's crazy? Just to go back to, do you mind if I mention where you work?
Go ahead.
Okay, so
got to be an open book.
Open book.
KJLH, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is funny because one of the primary people, I'm talking about the first person who talked to me about actually doing radio podcasting is Kevin Nash.
Wow.
Shout out to Kevin.
That's my dog. That's
and Martina's
my guy.
always liked Kevin.
Listen,
yeah, you've always liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, he's a nerd like me. When it comes to technology, that's how we met, like just going hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? And he came to my studio one day for the first time, and we just talked about technology and just the movement of things.
It's fun to geek out every now and then.
Man, we be going up. So he was like, yo, listen to you, speak and whatnot. You should do radio. And I'm like, nah. But he like, no, you should do radio. You got a story to tell. You can speak. You know what I mean? Or he was like, you can articulate and you could be on some bullshit. Mm-hmm. You should do radio. So I said, cool. So when he first started his accelerated radio network, the internet radio network, when he first started that, I was his first show. It was called Hold It Down Radio. I was his first show, and I was interviewing all of the up-and-coming artists or whatnot. Okay. So fast forward, this is my guy. Like, this is another guy that I call, like, when it's time to get busy. You know what I'm saying? And even I linked up Kevin with Black. That's how he got the whole KJLH radio
family.
Play or whatnot.
That is so dope. I did not know this story. It's gorgeous.
Man, it's just these are my guys. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me, like, a lot of stuff comes from, I'm very reserved with people that I'm dear to.
You're dear, beautiful.
It's never about talking about like where we know each other from and who's doing what, but it's from a sincerity of like, these are people who, when times get rough, when situations come to,
they're compassionate to you.
Right. To get somebody trustworthy to make things happen. These are the people that I call.
It's hard in Hollywood too.
Can I get a high five, please? No. Can I get a drink, please? Let's get a drink.
A drink to that.
Let's get a drink.
Yes.
Because it's very difficult in Hollywood.
It is. Drink.
To not only have the people that's like-minded and being able to be humble and sincere about what you're doing, but also to keep them. Mm-hmm. Keep them in the midst of wolves. Keep them in the midst, yes. That's like having...
keep them in the midst of wolves, you said?
In a midst of wolves.
That's deep.
So it's a real thing, you know what I'm saying? And I try my best to keep the best plate of people around me and also be the same person to them. When we're moving. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the reason why, your emotions and how you carry yourself through business is very important.
It's so important. It is your brand.
Right.
And you learn that. I feel like once you finally put yourself out there early on, you are the brand. Right. So you have to go into it and treat people the same as
Right.
you want them to treat you.
So it's
Represent yourself.
Own your emotions.
Own your fucking
Own it.
emotions.
Like, I feel like that's what I'm learning right now
Right.
is own your emotions, because people
Yeah.
make you feel bad about your emotions.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
you're
Right.
too this and you're too that. And I've done that. Like, shame on me for having done that to other people.
But
Own your
you
emotion.
may be too in a working situation where you can't just come in there and be like, yo, motherfucker, I don't like you. I ain't really fucking with you. You don't know what you can get. So if somebody tells you, you know what, Martina, sometimes you're uncouth. You don't stay within the white. Business is very black and white. You're always in the gray.
Right.
You gonna go home and be pissed like, what the fuck? I do this, and you be late and you don't turn your emails. It's not about that. It's about when you do find yourself into the gray, how do I go back to this black and white spectrum? And it doesn't mean that, I'm less of a it is balance. It's clear balance.
It's a Libra. It's my everyday struggle.
Right.
How do I balance?
And then even still, like, because first off, I understand totally what you're on, because my whole concept of when I talk to certain people, I never mention anything about what you should be doing unless it's coming from a avenue of sincerity and wanting you to do better.
Yes.
Now, once I state that, I'm hands off, because I feel like once I get that out, however you decide to move is up to you. But I just want to make sure that you know, at this point in time, no matter what you feel in the end, at this point in time, you have somebody in your corner that's trying to help you work through whatever it is.
Whatever you're going through. Yeah, that's me.
After that, however you want to feel is how you want to feel.
It's how you want to feel.
Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Sometimes I fully back away. Like once I state or I try to implement a way to possibly adjust or fix it or do whatever, because I'm a fixer. I've always been.
Yeah.
Once I do that, I'm like, ooh.
So once
I figure it out.
So once you give your trained advice through your own experiences, once you give that advice to a person, if they don't take heed to that, are you turned off by them? Like, oh, they don't know.
No, I'm not
retarded.
I'm not turned off, but I'm also not obligated to engage in it again.
And again.
Gotcha.
Not gonna do it.
And that is a
Not gonna do
difference. It's not.
Because I don't bathe in sorrow. I never have. I'm
Okay.
a Capricorn.
Yeah.
I love life. I'm always happy. No one on this earth makes me happy before I make me happy.
Yeah.
So I'm always I'm in a situation where any given time, if we're at a point where we need to evaluate the pain or the sadness or whatever, we're going to explore that in full. Once the evaluation is met on either side, it's like, okay, boom, you got your options. Hopefully you choose the right one, because at the end of the day, I'm still hoping, even with my own answer, I'm hoping for you to do better. But after that, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, let's figure it out.
At the root of it is you want the person to do better.
But then that's made up. And I'll challenge that, because I can't hope for you. What is hope? I don't know what you're to encounter. I do not know how you're supposed to maneuver through this game of Monopoly that we're playing.
Right.
What moves you may have to make that are best for you. We talked about this on a podcast about friendships, playing your role, what type of friendships, how are you loyal? I think that was the topic, loyalty. Mm-hmm. The loyalty is key in what you said. I'm genuine to myself.
Right.
So in being genuine to myself, you can bring something to me.
Right.
I ain't gonna tell you how to operate or move. I ain't even gonna tell you that it stank. Oh, yo, you shouldn't do it. I wouldn't do that shit, because I got some ugly stuff in my closet. I don't know what other people may have. It's not for me to hope for you. Right. Even with my kids, I don't own my kids. I birthed them. They've come through me, but they are their own individuals.
Right.
Yes, I can hope for greatness, but the most that I can do is nurture you the same as you would do any living organism on earth, a tree, a plant, a fish. You nurture it. You give it the essentials that they need. So in learning to control my emotions, that was a big thing about me being a Virgo. I always wanted to control everything. Everything.
Hey, all right, talk your truth. There you go. Talk your motherfucking truth.
Everything, right? You know, control was something that was like, if I had control over it, then I could decipher how this was going to turn out.
Same thing here, because I definitely admit that a lot of my ideas come from a controlling nature.
A controlling nature.
Like, yo, give me the ball. I'm gonna show y'all how this thing works. But it's not from a selfish place, because I want to make sure everybody wins. But I had to realize that everybody don't operate like that. Some people operate different. It's equivalent to, let's take, for instance, your birthday. War, right? Okay. So in war, you have the lieutenant who's trying to make sure that they make the plan to make things work. And then you have the soldier who is going to work, but gives more suggestions of how things should go more than anything. And then you have the soldier who don't have no suggestions, but nigga, I'm ready to go down fighting. And then you got the soldier that's like, no, I'm away from the war, and then I'm trying to make sure that everybody get patched up to get back to the war. So there's so many different
elements of war.
Like those are roles,
right?
Yeah.
So it goes,
and it's crazy because Martina has all of those within herself.
Right.
What you just said is exactly that. So going through emotions, the way you just broke that down. For instance, I am a controller of things. I've worked on it, so I backed all the way off. In positions where I know this isn't going to end pretty,
right?
I don't tell her right away, like, yo, don't.
She lets me crash and burn.
I let her crash and burn. And somebody would take that as you're not being a friend. Absolutely, I'm being the greatest friend.
No.
Because
what
what
you're
she
doing
needs,
is, not to cut you off, but what you're doing is you're being the right friend. For the situation. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Because I'm the same way. Like all of those different experiences that I've named comes from what value of friendship that you're playing for that situation. Because I have some friends where I have to lead and show them the way. I have some friends that's just like, I'm gonna listen to you, dog. Whenever you're ready to move, I'm ready to move, G.
Yeah, but then think about if you don't lead. So, for example, on the way over here, I gave her the side eye, like, yo, last minute you sent me this. Old Brandy would have been like, I ain't going in.
Right.
I ain't going in. I ain't recording. I don't do shit like this. I don't. Nope. Boom. Current Brandy is like, just go with it. Right? And then going with it, I wrote in here.
To some beautiful shit.
To some beautiful shit, right? However, if I control, it's kind of like all these crazy sci-fi movies you see when people start manipulating and playing with time, right? And you always learn in these movies that they may have fun in the moment of going back and bouncing through these time machines, but knowing that no matter what you do, you can offset the direction of how something's gonna be, but you cannot change that final outcome. Hey, great shout out to the Umbrella Academy, because this is all the way the Umbrella Academy on Netflix. But it's like through my kids, even being Martina's friend in emotions, you gotta figure this shit out. Hey, I will be in Target. My kids can be strapped in a basket. The other one wants to get in. He's standing up. Somebody's gonna walk by and be like, "Oh my God, they're gonna fall." And my attitude is so nonchalant, like,
right.
If he fall,
he gonna get back.
First of all, I feel like I'm so protected that certain things are gonna happen, but not beyond the control of what I can deal with, right?
And the lesson is gonna prove
penetrate him
more than anything.
Absolutely. So if I told you once, sit your ass down, and you didn't, and you tumble out this car and you flip it over and you bust your head and we got to go to the emergency room, and then you're apologizing to me at the end of the day like, "Mommy, I'm sorry." No, you're really sorry. Right. Because if you would have just listened, Mommy foresaw this was coming. Right. You know? Right. So sometimes it's like with your emotions, you can't control your emotions. So why are we so compelled to control people with our emotions? Right. I don't want you to feel this hurt. no, you gotta feel this hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
How else do we build?
How else
do we
are you
learn?
going to learn from it? You know, we tell our children all the time, I don't want you to do that because mommy had to learn the hard way.
Right.
I don't know how big your spirit is, as well as I don't know how big your journey is here on this earth. So if I control you in any emotions, I might be altering your path and make the shit harder for you to get to your sense of direction. You know, so it's like,
Absolutely
yo, my
right.
kids totally teach me how to control
Kids are bars.
my emotions.
Kids are bars.
Absolutely.
Because I give my boys options. It's never about do this, do that. It's about options. It's like, okay, you can do this. This is the result of that. Or you can do that. This is quick story. Sorry about these stories.
No, I love
I feel like we
them.
stuck people in our wormworholes of stories.
Right.
Is this not me?
If you don't
good.
keep drinking, this is great. There was a point in time where my kids were, young, and they experienced the concept of cussing. Right? So they like, oh, we figured out cuss words. We finna go up. Okay.
Right now.
So, neighbor caught him cussing, mom caught him cussing. They hitting them fucks and shits and shit.
They're using them
going up.
appropriately.
Me, I already know I cuss like a motherfucking sailor when it's time.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? Very professional, but when it's time, when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with,
clean it up.
come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm going off. So I'll pick them up in the morning for school one day, and she like, you need to talk to your kids about swearing and cussing.
Okay.
Same profile all the time. I got you. Don't even trip. Don't even worry about it. They get in the car. I say, okay, before we pull off, let's have this conversation. They're like, what, daddy? That's when I know they're trying to slow this shit up. Don't what daddy me, because I love that shit. I love it. Don't what daddy me. So I'm like, okay, look, let's just get this out the way. I know for actual fact that you guys have cussed before. True or false?
Yeah.
True. Okay. You guys have cussed before, and you guys have grown a fascination with cussing. True or false? Young one. Daddy, what's fascination? Fascination is the idea of becoming more comfortable and okay and excited about doing something. He said, oh, okay, yeah, we do. Makai too. I'm like, yeah, got you. So, I'm going to give you guys this ultimatum. You guys can choose whatever you want, but it's up to y'all. Me, I'm a very unorthodox parent. I'm weird as shit.
Man.
Okay? So, I told him, I said, okay, now, since I know you guys are cussing, I will give you guys the option of choosing between cussing or not cussing. Y'all have the option to. Now, these are the consequences of either situation. If you stop cussing, you can do your thing and just be regular little old boys and enjoy your life. If you start cussing, I will accept that. I will make sure that your mom accepts that, and everybody accepts it. But cussing is a grown-up idea, which means that when you start cussing, you automatically forfeit the option of being
a
able
kid,
to be a kid, which means that I don't have to pay for your clothes,
Absolutely.
pay for your toys,
over the head.
no holidays.
Figure out your meals
I don't have to pay for your food
so you
whatsoever.
whatsoever.
Right. Not only do I have to, I don't have to pay for it. Your mother no longer has to pay for it. The only thing she's obligated to do is to make sure that you guys have a household over your heads. That's it. Everything else you will do yourself. If
So
guys
you
are
make your decision,
If
huh?
you guys are okay with that challenge, I am fully okay with it.
Absolutely.
They paused, looked at me for a minute and a half. We're just gonna go back to being little kids.
Absolutely.
Facts. Can I go
Good
back?
answer.
Good answer.
Sir,
I
can
I
just
go back?
told
I
Marley
would
this
not.
in the bathroom the other day. I said, yo, you only have a short amount of time to be a kid.
Right.
But you are an adult more than half
your life.
of your life.
Right.
Being a kid is a very small window, you know? So dealing with those emotions then is key to everything. You become a more balanced adult, you know. But yeah, that's the bar. I got to use that one, you know, because like I say, the little hell, I did just tell them the other day, say fuck it, you know.
Now, if they would have said that if we gonna start cussing, I'd have had so much motherfucking money right now. Yeah,
absolutely, you know.
Man, let's get into knowing the right mixture of emotions, because one of our biggest things, especially in business, like I would just take from me, like, every day I wake up, I'm faced with a new type of emotion. But I know the certain types of way that I go about the day that helps me become a better artist. To be a better producer, a better engineer, and to deal with, business clients in a better way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to get into just the concept of knowing what emotions and what mixture of that works for you on a daily.
Okay.
You know what I mean? What do you feel like? What emotions do you feel like on a daily helps you be able to function with people, and even sometimes without people when you're doing your own shit?
Understanding the emotions of no judgment. I have to look at things so many times and be like, don't overthink it. Because I will. I am such an overthinker. I'm going to go through every process of something, weigh it out, right? So I'm always, I think, even in these relationships, I go back to this, like, you're given every challenge you are to help you balance your emotions. It's not opposite. They're not playing opposition. It's not a different team. It's one process. You're getting some of the complications that you run into, some of the things you're challenged with as an artist to help you balance your cocktail. So for me, a lot of things that I am given tells me, don't overthink it. Let the processes be. You cannot control, you cannot manipulate things to go how you want them to go, So we'll dive in later. You talked about, it was great. You were like making up a real drink of your emotions. I had jokingly was like, I'm like a tea. I'm like a whiskey tea. I might come in and kiss you, and then I might have to give you the ugly truth after I kiss you. You know what I mean? And for me, that is, it's a whiskey. Whiskey is always going, I feel like it's subtle. It's going to kiss your lips. And then it's going to go in for a kill, and then after the kill, you may be able to sleep perfectly. Tequila fucks me up. Right?
Hey, tequila, I'll be gone.
Tequila is a beast to kill your ass. Okay, and then you wake up feeling like a train wreck. That is the overthinking for me. So I know I could never be tequila, because it's going to make me overthink, and then it's going to impact me the next day, going into my next day. So my cocktail would have to be drawn up like a whiskey tea. It's going to kiss you. It might be vicious. It might make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It might make you warm up a little bit, and then it's going to ease you in like a smooth tea, and then have you come into the next day a bit more rational. My emotion, I have to keep my shit balanced. That has been my go-to. Go find moments, meditate, go to the beach, think about things, listen through lessons with the kids, because it's like, the minute I get to overthinking, I'm going to create some shit that may not even take place, may not even happen. But I've created this thought, and I believe it. Power of the mind. You know what I mean? So you got, absolutely, just balancing.
Man, so that's crazy that you say that, and I'm thinking about my drink right now. Martini, your question as well. We're talking about the mixture of emotions, and what is a balance, or what emotion you use to help you get through the best part of the day, or just the day period. And if you had to combine that, if that emotion was a particular drink or mixture, what would that be?
Okay, well, I'm just going to break it down as what I'm drinking right now.
Come on, let's go.
Okay, so I'm going to let y'all know. I'm super into Tito's because it is organic, non-GMO, and I feel like Yes, it is pure, and that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be like non-GMO, not toxic. I don't want to be a toxic person. I don't want to be a cancer. I want to be as pure and as uplifting as I can be, with a little splash of something, so I get like a splash of soda water, because you need that, in your throat,
look.
you need that in your
like
throat.
It's real, just to feel like
yes,
it's real.
but it's in your calorie intake. That's me. So I'm a Tito's
A Tito vodka.
with a splash of soda water and a squeeze of lime, because I'm Latina. So you need your lime. You need your side of lime to just give you that extra. You know what it is. When you're Latina, Brandy's Latina by Aborigines.
By Aborigines,
yeah,
That's
me.
Classic.
She's clowning.
That's classic. Okay, so for me, very oddball, but let me explain. So my emotion that I feel like is needed for me to get through the day, especially dealing with my profession and dealing with production, I need to let people in.
Let people in?
I need to let people in.
Okay.
My brain, parts of my soul, depending on who the person is. I need to let people in. We need to have conversations. Majority of the work that I do instills creating a record to set a mood, whether it's for somebody's project, whether it's for TV and film, whatever. So we have to have these conversations. And I don't want to have surface conversations, because surface conversations equals surface records.
Surface records.
Ratchet record,
Small
club
talk.
record, small talk.
Small talk.
We're
Don't
gonna lay a
like
couple
it.
verses. I like to let people in, because that gives them a chance to open up to me. And we can get to a particular record where it's like, no, we're talking about this here. This identifies with your life. Let me create the soundtrack that identifies with your idea or your passion of what you got going. And I feel like that's a great formula to make hit records. If I had to make that into a drink, it would have to be some type of a sangria with an alcohol booster.
So some stiff.
In the endless picture, huh?
Right. So
bottomless.
It'll start off with the light saying smooth wine. It'll have the fruits and whatnot. It'll have the like cherries, strawberries, pineapples. You would get a taste of the fruit right there. But then when you get towards the bottom, you would probably get like a heavy vodka, like a Tito's. Or me, I would go off the deep end, because I'm an islander. I would end up having some type of moonshine mixed in there. So it can just shoot through you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anything that's 180 proof and better. Because it's like, while you're drinking
illegal
it,
shit.
you fucking right.
Yes.
Because after a while, when you're so bathed into just letting things go, you realize that this is the point of no return.
No return,
and I want every artist that I work with to become in the point of no return when we're making music.
I love that.
And
that's why I said
vulnerable. I feel like that's what
vulnerable.
You're saying.
Absolutely.
Expose yourself.
Please, let's be vulnerable, because we if we're not being vulnerable in music, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Yeah,
What are we doing? Y'all know what it is when y'all listen to a particular record. There's records that you like, and then there's the records.
The ones.
The ones who get you. The ones is like,
that speak to you. Yeah.
I can't get away from this moment right now. I have to indulge this.
I'm engulfed in
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think
that's why I said like a tea at the end. I'm going to give you the liquor first. Right? And then the tea is everything earth. I don't feel like you get all of me right away.
Right.
It's like you get those layers. You get that business. You get that she's about it. She's serious first. Don't play too many games. You're not, and then after you get that, you get that tea element that it derives.
Earthy feeling.
It derives. I
just told my friend.
It derives from the earth. Like
what kind of tea?
all the elements. I thought about this on the way here, and it fucked me up because I could not. I swear to you, I wrote it down. I could not think about what particular tea. And I'm real earthy, y'all. I stopped using everything plastic.
She don't.
I make everything now. You know, I make my own drinks and things.
She got some shit in there.
I got a business. This should be coming up soon. It's some shit in there. I'll go from cannabis cooking oils. That's the name. Some shit in there.
That's the name of the.
Martina came up with that. Some shit in there.
That's some shit in there.
But, it's some shit in there.
That's classic. I'm waiting on that.
I'm gonna make sure I drop you off a good old box of things. But from cooking oils that are infused to hair things to just treatments for your skin, all kinds of things. I put all kinds of shit together. And when I was thinking about the tea, I'm like, yo, I drink so many different teas, and it really depends on my moods. I want to grow my own chamomile. Right. I drink like real black and green teas that look like it's some twigs that you just.
She had a green tea that she made me nauseous. Look, she was like, "That's some shit.
That's some shit. That's how serious that green tea is," and that's why I say a tea of earth, because, yo, every day on the land is not gonna be as pretty as you think it is. Some days it might be a hurricane to come rip through your shit. Right. But then after that hurricane comes rips through, how do you rebuild? Earth replenishes itself so quickly. Right? You see it. I live in the valley. Fires happen. They ravish through things. Right. And the land heals so quickly. You should see the burnt areas, hotels, houses.
Green.
It's so green, right?
So
but us, our emotions, we allow things to come through, burn us down. It takes us forever
to replenish.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, it's funny because on my podcast, for everybody that's listening, you already know how my podcast do. In the morning, I usually do my podcast in the morning. And when I do it in the morning, every morning I drink a medicine ball from Starbucks. Okay. Which is a combination between peach tea, mint tea, ginger, and all lemonade.
I'm gonna make you some shit with all that. Okay, I'm about to make you some
non-Starbucks.
Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure y'all was against Starbucks, but I had to tell you anyway. So that's my morning thing. If I do the podcast like after like 12 o'clock, then it's alcohol.
Okay.
So that's my thing. So, but it's a combination of me as I move throughout the day. Like I want to start off the day fresh and just open, and then I want to end off the day in my bag of whatever I'm doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's important for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
It's your balance.
It's your balance. It's your balance. Okay, now, so last thing before we go. And I got to get into this. Okay.
It's been a lot.
It's definitely been a lot.
I love it.
It's gorgeous.
Martini at Brands, y'all. Make sure y'all check out their podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Google, anywhere you podcast.
Anywhere you podcast, please go check it out. It's hilarious. And heartwarming. Heartwarming is really the word. Hilarious because I love getting a kick out of watching them, listen to them talk. But heartwarming is the true adjective for the podcast. But before we get up out of here, I just want to do some crazy, silly shit. And I want us to be bartenders for a minute.
Oh,
okay.
Let's be fucking bartenders for a minute. So, I want to explain 3 things. I want to explain 3 different scenarios. And then y'all give me a drink that should fit that scenario. Okay.
My brain has to work right now.
Okay.
Right.
Y'all
After
ready?
the Jameson, he puts us to work.
Yeah.
You're damn right. I'm going to do the same thing too. I'm going to give you 3 different scenarios.
Okay.
What drink fits that scenario? Now imagine, you can either imagine you're the friend who's supplying the drink, or you're yourself and you're just going to your bar at the house, or the bar at a bar or whatever, and getting your drink. So, situation number 1. And I feel like y'all finna get this so fast. Well, y'all may not. Situation number 1. What drink would you make if you've just found out and have 100% proof that you've been cheated on by your mate? What drink you going with?
Well, cheating's made up, so we would toast
It is
together.
made up. We'll talk. Cheating is made up. That's
Me and that person be toasting together. So who we taking down?
Martina, you go first. Tell me.
Okay, so if I just found out I was being cheated on, what cocktail would I take? It would have to be something stiff and straight up. Yeah, something that really gets you in the gut that burns you later. And then lets me process. So, yeah, I don't know. Something smooth.
And how many?
Not too many, because I don't want to go too down like a wormhole.
If you just got cheated on.
Just got cheated on? But see, I feel like I would digest that differently.
I would digest. I'm a different breed.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to start off with something dark. Because you are going to feel dark at that moment. So I'm going to go, I'm brandy. Hello. So, you might need a brandy. You might need a whiskey. You might need a bourbon.
In the City then.
I'm going to go, what is it, Frangelico, which is kind of a creamy nutty because you may be feeling a bit nutty at that moment. You may be irrational.
Look. I'm not fucking with you.
And a Chambore, which is like a champagne, right? Because after you feel that nutty, you may just need to just bubble on out, right? So I'm gonna go with the dark, nutty, bubbly to go on out.
That's a good one.
Because you're going to have to rationalize all of those feelings of emotions and takes us to, like you said earlier, whole different podcast, because we take the art of cheating always as an L. I just had this talk with Martina a few days ago. Because you have been cheated on does not mean it's an L. It is still a learning lesson of emotions. But bartender, I'm about to give you that dark, nutty, bubbly, smooth on out of there.
I'm gonna take you through all your emotions, girl.
All of your emotions.
Throw some CBD in there.
Look, at the end, maybe I'll throw you in like a little
You might be on the something.
cookie. Look.
Give me some wings with some CBD on it.
Listen, I gotta cook for y'all one day. I'm
Please
do.
Please.
I'm a fat girl.
Because I love to cook. Hello, this is how another backstory of Martina Brands. It was Martina coming to Brandy's casa. Eating good, I'm all about a meal, and she made a joke talking about I'm Latin, but what do I always tell her? My spirit is some Latin Caribbean. I say it all the time. And I always have to say Latin because our people, the Aborigines, we were the original Latins of the land. No disrespect. Martina says she's a Latina. That's our cousins, we still are the first, but I go back to that Caribbean shit. So I need me some real good old food.
Please cook.
And we could break down emotions on a meal.
Yeah, it's so good to break bread.
Let's do that. Okay, wait. Okay, so let's finish this drink shit.
Okay.
Jesus. Okay, so for me, PolyRob getting cheated on, very unlikely. I think it would be like an almond champagne. Because I can honestly, every experience, and it was two, where I've actually been, like, one was actually cheated on, the other was in the process of dealing with somebody else. And it was both celebrations. For me, it was a celebration.
Okay. Yeah.
And it wasn't a celebration as if nigga, I'm over it, because I definitely still felt a type of way, but it was a celebration that now this information is out, and then there's going to become another time where this information will either come to light for you for the right reasons. And I'm waiting for that. So
I'm waiting for it.
I sip champagne and eat popcorn. I'm waiting for you to see what it really is.
And that's dope.
And it happens every time.
Every time. Yes. You got to join us on Martini Brands.
For sure.
And especially for the topic of cheating. Being cheated on. The feeling. I love that.
Listen, my story, we're going to save it for y'all podcast.
Please. Okay, yay.
Please.
I'm excited.
You probably know it.
Look, I would look, go back.
Oh, we throwing it.
That's hilarious. Look, that's hilarious.
It was around school time, so you probably know it.
That's hilarious.
Listen, I got to get on your show because I got to tell you that story.
Yes, please.
But definitely for that. Okay, second one. We're just gonna do two.
Okay.
We're gonna go in the meals.
Okay.
Okay, so second scenario. What drink would you choose? What drink would you choose if the next work day you had to fire your best friend?
Oh, see, here we
Let's go.
With me, I wouldn't be firing my best friend. It would have to be a teachable moment. Like, how can we work through this? How can we build and get better next time so we don't get here again?
So what drink would you drink while you're deliberating that?
Champagne, because it's a toast to what's
It's a toast.
next to come.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate.
I
We
could
got through
definitely
this.
fire a friend. Not personal. And we gonna take it straight up with maybe a slither of grapefruit. You know, some garnished with something nice, something that really grows from the earth. I might even toss something in there that got a real seed in it. Okay,
You'd be like, that's the best firing I've ever had.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
did I really
I'm
get
gonna
fired? I
go
don't know what just
straight up
happened.
for a shot. Straight at it.
Yes.
Take the shot. I'm not gonna get too creative with the mixes, because the reason why we here is because you was probably mixing too much shit.
Right.
It didn't work out.
Right.
Got to fire you.
I think for me, it's definitely shot. I think tequila shots will suffice for that.
Suffice for absolutely.
Only because it's for two reasons. First off, I want to take shots with the person I'm firing. After I fire you, come on, let's go to the bar and let's talk about the real shit.
The real shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then on top of that, I gotta take tequila shots because I feel like tequila shots give me that like extra padding just in case somebody want to fire on me. And if he or
It's
she
extra
decides
layer
to
of numbness.
sock me, I won't feel it because the tequila shots is in me. So I think that'll work out.
And
I
that's
think that'll
crazy
work
how
out.
powerful the agave plant really is, because tequila is a
It's so
beast.
smooth. It's
But then
so
it just
smooth.
lets you know like how relevant agave is.
And no matter
to-
how many terrible stories you have of tequila, it's always an option.
It's always
Especially if you're trying to diet, it's always an option.
it is.
That's
right? Yeah.
Didn't even think about
Like
that.
some people be like, vodka, oh, I'm not fucking with no vodka. Oh, dark, I'm not fucking with dark.
Yeah, dark made people go crazy.
Right. Tequila be
That's
like,
crazy.
you know what? Maybe. I might do tequila. It's
yeah.
always an option.
Always.
It's always an option.
Option.
It is.
Facts.
It is. Because I fucks with tequila
fuck
every
with
now
tequila.
and then. You know, I do. I get it in. I like me some dark tequila.
Right.
You know, I am heradura all the way. Dark, especial. You know, I love
I haven't
it.
found the only tequilas that I really like are truly from Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like Don Julio.
But heradura is from Mexico.
Yeah.
Straight
Even
up.
Patron, I'm like, "Meh." Like, no, I
Right.
I need
even
to go
said
to
the
the
other-
factory of Tequila Factory and taste that shit.
And taste that. I even said the other day to myself on one of the brands I work on, I said, I want to do a beer crawl. And then I was like, but beer doesn't get you fucked up. And
Right.
Get you
I
gassy.
said, how do you trigger that fucked up to have fun? I said, add some heradura, tequila and beer. It's the combination to fuck you up. Let's just go
it
in
is the
beer bombs
bad
with
shit.
tequila. Nobody's still that, you know, because I'm working on it. Sorry, I just plugged that. But yo,
As soon as you figure it out, bring it to me.
Oh,
I'm paying for
absolutely.
whatever. I'm paying for whatever.
absolutely, you know.
Yay.
Man, listen. Y'all are awesome. Let me just
Thank
say
you.
that,
Thank you.
So every event that local astronauts put together, y'all better be there.
Okay,
'Cause
I
it's
love
all-
that name.
It's all about good vibes. Like that's the company, local astronauts.
Tell me how you came up with that.
Okay, so one day it's funny. Okay, let me tell you the story.
Okay,
Way back.
story man.
So back at our previous studio on LeBrand Ellis, we had a conversation, a big ass debate, and Pizzle was involved with it. Shout out to Pizzle.
Shout out to
Shout out
Pizzle.
to Pizzle.
Congratulations
in
on
this
the
conversation of what started local astronauts.
local astronauts. Congratulations on this new little king he planted within this earth. He's beautiful.
Beautiful
you know.
thing. So man, shout out to the baby Pizzle. You already know what it is.
Yeah.
So we had this conversation, and it was a question that we posed, and everybody had a different opinion, and not Pizzle had the biggest opinion. So the question was, if you met a woman for the first time, and then you came over to her house for the first time to chill, to do whatever, and she cooked food, would you accept it on a paper plate or a porcelain plate?
Oh man.
Paper plate or porcelain plate. So A lot of people was like, porcelain. Nigga, you got to show me what it is.
Yeah.
Pizzle said,
A paper.
I don't give a fuck if she bring it to me on a napkin. As long as I get to eat and fuck, I'm good.
He's so cute.
I hear that.
I love him.
So it started this entire conversation that lasted for about 6 weeks.
I love it.
We asking everybody that came into the studio. And then from that, it was like a podcast. So my boy Lazy B, shout out to Lazy B, Brian Shorter. I know you know
Oh,
Brian. That's my guy. He's
Where is he at?
He's a local astronaut as well.
Okay.
He actually, shout out to the Overrated Truth. The Overrated Truth podcast is actually a podcast by local astronauts. It's on radio.co. It's with Lazy B, Badru, Bad Luck, and Mahoney. So check that out as well.
Okay, sure
so
will.
Lazy B came in and was like, man, we should do a podcast to talk about shit like that. And then we're like, all right, cool, let's do it. So we had to come up with a name, and we came up with the name Local Astronauts as the actual radio station. And then it turned from the radio station to the production, and then, now we just do production and brand strategy and podcasting with shows. So it's a full conglomerate now. And they're all a part of it. Pizzle's a local astronaut.
And it all started with the paper plate or porcelain discussion.
One conversation. And still to this day, I gotta ask y'all.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting because this is me.
So, if a nigga came to your house and this is your first time, this is impression mode. This is time. This is your guy. You fuck with him. When you cook food, would you bring it to him on a paper plate or porcelain?
Anybody who knows me knows this answer, but absolutely a porcelain plate. Right. I am all about
presentation is everything.
Presentation is key. Not even that. It's reducing your carbon copy. We were talking about emotions being toxic. If you're using paper all the time, you ain't treating the earth right. And if you ain't treating the earth right, you're not treating the creatures of the earth right. So for me, you're not going to come in my plate and find too many paper, plastic elements.
Right.
You're not,
That's for the kids, man.
Yes,
for the kids.
It's not even for the kids because the kids is the future. So I gotta feed you better than I'm feeding myself sometimes. But absolutely porcelain. And I'm gonna pull out the good shit. We about to sit down and have a real Gucci 7-course dine-in experience. We about to get back to ethics. What's up, girl? Because I said I was rewriting a book of ethics. I said,
wasn't her name Martha?
What's her name? No. Not Martha Stewart. It's
not Martha Stewart. Like Martha something.
No, it's not Martha.
Let me ask
Google.
I don't know.
Amy, somebody know it's Emily. Isn't it Emily?
It is Emily.
Emily Post.
Oh, Emily Post
was the last person who wrote a book on ethics and just how you basically conduct yourself, eating and placement. You don't feed people on paper plates.
You don't play no games.
No games.
What about you, Martini? You finna paper it up? What you doing?
No, I'm gonna do the porcelain.
Absolutely.
It don't even look like you cook.
Not really.
Barely. You look.
No, I could cook a mean ass breakfast. You like breakfast? I could do an omelet, real nice.
And I told you
what kind of omelet?
Mushroom, spinach,
something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the rule is, always remember this. The rule is anytime a woman adds spinach, she's somebody to wife.
Is she really? Oh, because did you hear what I just said?
That's it.
Ding, ding, ding.
Anytime she adds spinach, she's married material.
And why is that?
That's one of the things.
Huh.
And I don't even know if Dr. Sebi said we could eat spinach. Look.
Right. It's bomb.
But I do. It is bomb. It is bomb.
Okay, since we're talking about meals, let's just get to the meals.
Get to it.
If we had to combine emotion with a meal, an emotion with a meal, what we doing? Martini, go.
Can you tell me what the emotion is?
Okay. All right. Cool. Gotcha. For Martini, let me see. The emotion is... For you,
I know I'm a Libra. It's like
angry.
How do I figure it
angry.
out?
Oh. Angry.
What's your
angry? What's your angry dish?
What's your angry food?
And don't act like it ain't no angry dishes out there. What's your angry dish?
And you can't call Brandy and ask for a recipe.
Oh man, it'd probably be something carb loaded with a dessert.
Carb
Like,
loaded.
give me a burger, and I'm trying to cut out beef, but like, fuck it, like, give me some like real 100% Angus beef, a burger. Love burgers.
I'm with that.
A burger that's thick, and a dessert that's gonna give me gas.
Look, and my mind was racing just thinking because we always go back and
I'm
forth.
with that. A
Bubble
burger
guts.
and a
Like,
dessert.
you don't want to be around me because this revenge is like Montezuma. Okay.
It's like you feel like you feel like you love them going down, but then at the end it's just like no.
So you
Oh my
So
God.
you lactose
I think I'm getting in there
with
now.
an extra thick piece of cheese on that burger.
Yes,
Ooh.
yep. Like, I might like sitting on the toilet.
Grilled
like,
onions.
why did I do this?
Why
shit?
did I do grilled onions
Regretting
too?
life.
Constipation at its finest.
And it's
Yes, or just loose booty.
Right.
She's disgusting.
You hear the kids out here like, man, but you wanna like, I can't. I got loose booty.
I got
I'm sorry.
loose booty.
Fend for yourselves.
Terrible.
I had cheese last night.
Brandy, talk to me. Okay, emotion. I gotta say this because this is the only way that it's gonna be right. Not saying that you've ever been angry or angry person,
Okay.
but judging by how Brandy speaks, I gotta give her something that's gonna be halfway difficult but halfway in pocket. Let's say passion.
An oxtail.
Passion and oxtails?
An oxtail because it really takes passion to deliver a delicious pie. It takes time. And for passion, that takes time. It brews within you. I stew my oxtails for 2-3 days. Hey, I'm cooking oxtails so much so that you get mad that they cook so long that your bone might not be attached to all the parts of the oxtail. You know, like a fucking oxtail. That's passion
I need confirmation from Martina. She made you oxtails?
It's so good.
It's so
and she'll
good.
save the marinade. She'll put it in the freezer and
In the
put it in some
freezer.
tacos later. I'm like, bitch, that's an oxtail you had? Like, she, for real. An oxtail. Yeah,
a
it'd be
fucking
loose off the
oxtail.
bone. The
An
marrow coming
oxtail
out.
is passion for me. It's like when I go in, that might be the food that I go to when shit is heavy.
Ooh.
When it's heavy, when I'm deep in thought, when I really need to marinate on stuff, I might start a pot of oxtails, and there's parts to it. It is my searing. It is my veggies that's in it before. It's the cooking of parts, then bringing it all together. So for passion, it takes so many elements to stew. I am passionate. Shit.
Come
passion,
on,
bring
B.
oxtails.
This is language
You know?
right here. This
Man.
is love language
Uh-huh.
right here, man. Okay, y'all got to give me.
So
an
I
emotion.
want to hear you.
Y'all got to give me an emotion.
And
Oh my
since
God.
you just said love language, love.
Okay, so love. What dish would I make in the concept of love? Okay, so there's this dish that I make, called a curry shepherd's pie. So what it consists of is it takes about 2.5 hours to make my curry. It's an apple curry, so it's with sauteed apples. It's with light cinnamon. We use a little bit of basil, and the other seasonings. You got to figure it out.
You got to figure it out. That's a real cooker right there. I'm only going to give you a little.
Right. So, bottom of the pan, light, a little bit of apple curry. Then I actually use flour tortillas, a layer of that. Then a layer of sauteed potatoes and onions and bell peppers. And then after that, it's a layer of mozzarella and pepper jack cheese. Then you have your shredded chicken and your my pepper turkey meat. And then you just repeat the cycle. You layer the curry over it again, and you repeat the cycle. The reason why I say that is because collectively it takes about 5 to 6 hours to make that and marinate it. And then also you got to leave it. You got to let it sit for like another 2 hours. But the combination between sweet, salty, savory, and the layer embodies the the love that I have for anything.
Anything.
For music, for someone that I love, for family. I understand that we have so many different levels to us. But collectively, if we can find our niche with that, we can create a dish. We can create love. We can create experiences. That's a beautiful thing. So I would say
wanna eat
that'd
that
be
shit.
my-
Right now, because you know the motherfucker got us in here.
Yeah.
No snacks, and he over here talking about his love pie.
Yeah, I'm like,
okay,
can I get some of this love pie?
I need
It's
some of this
marinating right now. Throw that
love
shit in the
pie.
toaster oven. I'll eat that shit raw.
all day. Love pie in my belly.
I will definitely cook that for you guys. Look, we need a day. Hopefully, it's Martini at Brands podcast day where we just gonna have alcohol. I want to come help cook. And
that'd be
I know
that'd be
Brett will
dope.
come
Beautiful.
in.
Beautiful,
And let's
yes.
just have one of those days where it's like, yo, fuck everything, fuck everybody. We in our bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we do that?
Can we?
Yes.
Absolutely, we
Yes.
can.
Man, I
This
think
is
that-
what
You know
Martini
I'm
and
like, hell
Brands
yes,
look.
I ain't contributing nothing but drinks.
Yeah. Martini is all about that. This is
I don't
where Martini and Brands came from. Come
Nice.
over into our space.
Yes,
absolutely.
please,
Cook
please.
it up.
Please,
you
let's
know?
do it.
Bring that love.
Man, I appreciate y'all being here. Like I said, I've been excited from the beginning to finish. And please plug your social media and where they can find the podcast.
So, Martina, shout out the Martini and Brands.
Okay, so you can find myself, Martini, whatever you want to call me, at Taitama_mama. So it's spelled TYMAMA_ Taitama TYTAMA_MAMA. Taitama Mama.
She's had too much Jameson.
Yeah, I have. And then Martini at Brands. It's just that Martini AT at Brands on Instagram.
And then, of course, I am Brandy. You can find me at I Am Brand because I'm always a brand. I Am Brand 33. Instagram, Gmail, if you want to send me an email. Facebook, the same, you know. We always say, learn us individually, so we do like you to follow us on both platforms,
Nice.
our personal Instagrams as well as Martini at Brands. But join in on the conversation. Let's think about shit. That's what we're all about. You know, instead of just talking, because everybody talks.
Right.
While we're talking, let's think, create these cocktails for life. It's kind of crazy that you did a show about cocktails and emotions.
Let's do it.
You know,
Come
that's
on,
what
man.
we're all about.
I felt like it was necessary because, you know, we all have our, you know, roller coaster of figuring out what was going on. I think that's one of the biggest things that I got from you guys' podcast is that not only do you guys drop jewels, you ladies drop jewels, you also give an insight of I'm in the process.
In the
of trying
process.
Wow,
things.
thank you
Yes.
for that.
I think
Because
it's a
I
beautiful
don't,
thing.
you never hear we're always on the inside. We never get the outside perspective. So thank
Right.
you for that, for
Always,
letting us know,
always.
like, yo, this is really how it is perceived. And that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Right.
And I totally think we do that for the no judgment. We talked about this in emotion. Don't come at us with the judgment because
Right.
we ain't here for it. You
Right.
know, we don't want the judgment. We just want you to really come in and vibe out with us. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
sometimes this cocktail shit, you may mix up something that didn't taste too good, but it's going to do you just right.
It's a-
You
it's
know,
Where you going?
Right.
it's going to do you just right. You know, so we're learning in this curve.
Man. For real, man, I appreciate y'all coming through. Please, and you can constantly be guests of the show. Come in anytime. This
Thank
space,
you.
Local Astronaut Studios, is available to you. This is what it is, man. I appreciate all of y'all listening. Hopefully, y'all got something from us and being able to use your emotions for the betterment of your future and those that surround you.
Absolutely.
And don't try to steal our drinks, y'all.
Don't spill a drink.
Don't try to steal our drinks unless we might authorize y'all to just use our drinks, but you know, you might not. You know what I'm saying? The PolyRob podcast. Make sure you subscribe and listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, YouTube. I got it on YouTube now, and I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. We are out.
Bye, guys.
Bye.